Hi everybody, this is Peggy. I'm going to be putting this up on my Peggy's Paranormal Ponderings page because that's not a tongue twister. So basically what got me started on this channel was a conversation that I had with Dustin of Modern Metaphysical Man, my wife Lisa of Supportive Tarot, and Danny of Danny Mystic, because they had done a VR to 11 paranormal questions that Amethyst Ascension had done on her channel. So now that I've listed off all the channels involved in starting this for me, but one thing I kept forgetting to do was actually answer the 11 paranormal questions myself. So this is my VR to that. So this is a VR for Amethyst Ascension, who in a backward sequencing ended up starting this whole thing for me. So without further ado, I'll post the questions below for anybody else who wants to keep this going. This is a few months ago that she's done it, so if anybody wants to revive it, feel free. So the first question is, do you believe in aliens? And if you've seen the first video I've done, then you know the answer is yes. I mean, let's face it, how many trillions of planets, billions of galaxies? There's no way, there is no way. What does that look like? I have no idea. I mean, we're not going to know until somebody comes down, perks outside, and says, "Hey, I'm here." But I don't think that I don't think that we are the only nugget of life in the entire vastness of the universe. It's just not possible. Next question is, do you recall a past life? I have this weird thing. I don't really recall a past life, but I also recall. I also have these recollections. Oh my God, of just things that, like, I've always been really, really uncomfortable by water that's by deep water, and there's no reason for that. I've never really spent time around deep water. There's no reason for there to be a connection for that for me, but there always has been. So, and I've always got a sense that it came from something that happened. Oh, something happened and I don't like deep water. Well, what happened? I don't know. So I've got a few things like that, and I do think that I think we all have those little nuggets of past lives that we have strong thoughts or feelings or opinions about things that we technically shouldn't. So I have a more generic opinion on that. I don't have anything that I could say as a recollection though. Number 3 is, do you believe in mermaids? I believe that it's entirely possible for an aquatic species of some kind to look a lot like what we would assume a mermaid is. Are we going to find Ariel? No. There's too many qualifiers for intelligence that we might find something living in the ocean that's smarter than we are currently aware of, but I don't think we're going to find mermaids in the classical sense, because I just don't think that biologically staying in the water, I don't think that really helps evolution in terms of brain evolution. So that's a little bit more technical than I probably need to say, but that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of things in the ocean that we've never seen before. I think we will eventually find something that has a fin structure that is more like a hand than a fin. I think it's entirely possible. Whales evolved to become land creatures and then re-evolved or de-evolved, however you look at it, to go back into the water. So there's something. There's plenty of things still left in the ocean to completely astound us. So I don't believe in a classical mermaid, but I do believe that there's something out there that's gonna just blow our minds. Number 4 is, do you believe in Bigfoot? And I just did a video on that. So yes I do. I mean, there's too many reasons for a creature like that to exist than there are reasons for it not to exist. Is it an interdimensional being? Is it just a really, really primitive ape? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. I suspect it's probably going to be basically an animal that looks like a cross between a human and a primate, and it's probably going to have an intelligence that's a cross between a human and a primate. I think that's probably got a lot to do with why we haven't found them so far. So yeah, I think Bigfoot are out there. I think once we actually find one, we're going to find out that it's not the great big giant conspiracy / mystery that we think it is, but there's definitely something out there. And number 5 is, do you believe in ghosts? I do. I don't know about the really intense stuff, like You know, the Amityville horror and stuff like that. I don't know that I believe. I don't know what I think about stuff like that. A lot of stuff like that has always ended up being some sort of a hoax or other. I'm not saying that it all has. Enough of it has, and it makes you really wonder. But I also believe that there's a part of us that is not. There's a belief that basically says that the body is one part of who we are, and the spirit is kind of the living essence that drives the body, and we're just a vessel for our real form and stuff like that. And I don't know where I kind of fit it. I don't know where I kind of see that, but I do see that I do believe that there's something that exists outside of the physical that can exist after death and be visible and tangible and be seen. So yeah, I definitely believe in ghosts. I don't know that I necessarily believe in the more intense hauntings type stuff, like like I said, the stuff that you see, the Shining, the stuff they do things on TV about. I don't think so. Do you believe in vampires? No. There are people who have a fascination with blood, who crave blood. So I do know that there's people out there that have a definite interest. I know there's people out there that claim to drink blood. But the classical Bram Stoker, Dracula, I don't think so. I mean, there's stories, but like the original Dracula was a guy called Vlad the Impaler, and he got the reputation because he was bloodthirsty, because of the creative ways that he liked to torture and kill his enemies, and often his own people. So I think there's people like that exist in society, but I don't think vampires are a thing. Number 7, have you ever astral traveled that you remember? I dream about it. So I've had experiences where I've dreamed that I was like traveling around that seemed fairly real, but I've never had any follow-up experience that blows your mind. Like, a cousin of mine talked about how he astral traveled one night. He got up the next morning, and he was like floating around the house, and I guess something had happened outside at the time that he was doing this. And he got up in the morning and said, "Oh, this happened, blah, 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 blah. And while I was doing it, this and this happened," and everybody's going, "Yeah, okay, whatever, it's a cool dream." And then they left the house later that day to find out that whatever it was had happened. Like, I don't think it was anything particularly earth-shattering that had happened, but like, I forget what it was. But they had found out that something had happened. Like maybe in the dream somebody had a flat tire, and the next morning they found a discarded tire where the person had changed the tire and just thrown away the old one. But something had happened to make him go, "Whoa, this is just freaking weird." So I think it's possible. I think it's possible that I've done it, but nothing's ever happened to make me convinced that it did happen. You know, some of our most interesting dreams are not necessarily always dreams. Number 8 is, have you ever had sleep paralysis? No. I'm one of those conspiracy theories kind of people. I love looking up this stuff and learning more about it, and so I find the concept of it really, really interesting and scary and terrifying, but I really know next to nothing about it. It's not something that I've ever experienced, so nope, I've never had it happen. I do believe it's real for the people that are experiencing it, though. I don't think it's just some dream state. Number 9, do you have any of the 8 psychic clairs? I'm going to have to raise my voice and shout to my wife, who is sitting across the room from me, and ask her to remind me if she remembers what the 8 clairs are, so I can actually answer the question. I think you guys can hear. What is the first clair?
Clairvoyance. The ability to see clearly, whether through your mind's eye with visions or through your actual eyes, which is rarer.
Kind of. Sometimes I just know shit for no particular reason, and then...
That's different. That's a different clair.
Okay, then no.
Clairsentience.
I have that one.
Common. The ability to feel things around a situation, a person, or a future experience. You may see the picture with clairvoyance, but to feel it is to know many things about it.
See, no, I think I'm more...
There's a different one coming.
Okay, then no. I think I've experienced both of those, but not to any major degree. Like, I think we all experience stuff that we just shrug off as coincidence.
Clairaudience.
Clairaudience. That's hearing, right? That one's a no. No,
Claircognizance.
Claircognizance.
Clear knowing, and is a very interesting one.
Okay, that one for sure. I just kind of weirdly know shit. It's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. People will say blah, and I'll go, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And they'll go like, but dude, that was just, that just went on the news 5 minutes ago. What are you talking about? And it's like, well, yeah. And it's like, I sometimes just know shit and there's no reason for it.
Clair empathy.
Oh, I hate everybody. No, I don't. What's Clair empathy?
Emotional feeling. It's what I do.
Oh, being aware of other people's emotions?
Feeling other people's emotions, yeah. Or feeling emotions around a situation.
I don't feel the emotions, but I can like almost see them. I can be very aware of other people's emotions even though I'm not sharing the emotion myself.
Clairtangency.
But you feel them.
I feel them.
I sense them, but I don't feel. I don't. If you're angry, I can go. Well, obviously, it's it's the flashing knife and the. But no, you're not a mean person. I'm just being an asshole.
Clairtangency, otherwise known as psychometry, is the sense of clear touch.
Clear touch.
Knowing stuff by touching it.
No, I don't have that. I don't have that. So clear touch is you touch something and you'll know things about the past owner. You'll know things about where it came from, who it belonged to, how old it is. Yeah, I don't have that at all.
Clairalience is clear smelling.
Clear smelling, so you smell a scent.
Out of the blue when there's no physical source. Usually you're at home and may smell baking or smell of cigarette smoke or fish.
Oh! Is that the ones that people like? Okay, like so if Grandpa was a pipe smoker, and suddenly you smell pipe smoke, and you go, that's Grandpa, and then you know that you have. Okay. So no, I don't have that, but I've heard of it.
Clairgustance is tasting.
Clairgustance, tasting.
Means tasting certain things you've not actually eaten. It's often.
Oh, you get a flavor in your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's that related to? Is that, again, more the sense that something or someone is there?
Like, for example, you can taste fresh bread, tea, or chocolate, or anything like that out of the blue as a way to, like, communicate with past loved ones. Like, it's like a bit of a mediumship thing or a psychic thing. So is that kind of like the whole feeling your guardian spirit coming to visit you and say hello? Or it's like all the other ones. It's just the sense of taste is how you're communicating.
Okay. So it's not necessarily an act of communication, just...
Any of these can.
No, I'm sorry, I meant to say active, not act of. Okay, so I'm done harassing my poor long-suffering wife. So yeah, so clairsentience. No, wait, okay, say it again. There's 8 of them, and I didn't think...
Clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance sometimes.
Clairsentience.
Sometimes.
Clairaudience.
Which is...
Hearing.
No.
Claircognizance, knowing.
All the time.
Clairempathy, feeling.
Yeah, the rest of them are just, yeah.
Clairtendency, clairalience, clairgustance.
So clairsentience.
That's your main one.
That's my main one. Okay, so apparently not smart enough to keep a list, but yeah, just weirdly knowing shit that I have no business knowing, and knowing it, and sometimes it's just like, it's like, oh, blah blah blah, and it's like, it's just, yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. Sometimes it's really weird. Most of the time I'm smart enough to keep my mouth shut. Okay, have you ever had a paranormal experience? Yes. I've had a few over the years. Mostly for me, it's dreams that come true, or dreams that kind of predict the future, and they're very specific types of dreams. They happen a very specific way. So I'm, now that I'm old and decrepit, I'm getting pretty good at recognizing which are which. But yeah, definitely had paranormal experiences. Number 11, have you ever been abducted or contacted by aliens? No. Seen a couple of weird things, but nothing that I could be definitive in saying that was a thing. Like we were at my aunt's place when I was still married to my ex. We were at my aunt's place, and partway through the night, this massively bright light just lit up the entire room. And so I'm like, and it jolted me awake because we were in the sticks. There was no street lights. There was no anything. Everything was just pitch black. So even a taillight of a car in pitch black is extremely bright. So that happened, and I woke up and I was like, oh, okay, just a taillight, and I went back to sleep. But what I realized the next day was that the driveway was on the other side of the house. There was no way for a red light. There was no way for a taillight or a light of any kind to be on that side of the house. But I mean, there just wasn't. There was no way for this light. So what caused a super bright red light at that time of the night for no particular reason on the side my aunt's driveway went up to a small lake. So like this this particular side of the house that we were sleeping on, that faced towards the water. There was no boats, there was no other lights, and there was no way for a light to be shone on the windows. So I don't know what that was. I mean, maybe it was just a really vivid dream. I don't know. There was nothing. There was no other context except for this white light. I mean, bright red light woke me up for a few seconds, and I went back to sleep. So that was weird, but you can't take that and do anything with it. So I don't know. Anyway, so that is the 11 paranormal questions. I will list them below for you for anybody else who wants to reactivate this little chain and keep it going. I love to hear everybody's thought. I like to hear this stuff from people, like, you know, what they do and don't think and whatnot. So yeah, if you like it and you want to do it, please, by all means, hashtag 11 paranormal questions. Thank you again to Amethyst Ascension for posting the original one. Sorry it took so long to get to it, but you know, I'm here now, and yeah, so now you know, now you know my answers to the questions. Now you know what got me started on my channel, and there is that. If I don't see you before in the Tarotverse or in any other of the online places, then I will see you guys next Sunday. Thanks.